Okay, next topic. So Candace Owens created a segment and it was called like toxic mom culture, and she was detailing there's this woman who ends up like murdering her three children and then jumping out of a window or something. But it turns out she was on like eight or nine different medications for like anxiety, psychosis, blah 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 blah. Right? And so Candace Owens basically goes on this whole tangent around how like when she was in college and she had just broken up with her boyfriend, she's like super emotional about being broken up with her boyfriend. Her dad comes to pick her up from college and then he takes her to his therapist. The therapist prescribes her some drug or something, and then she goes back to campus with this drug. She tells her roommate, she's like, "Oh, I have this new drug." And then her roommate's like, "Okay, so why are you taking the drug?" And she's like, "Oh, well, because I'm so sad. I can't stop crying. I'm so sad." And so she's like, the roommate basically tells her, she's like, well, you do realize that like sadness is like a normal human emotion and you're going to have to like learn how to deal with sadness just like all the other emotions. I too have made this week I've covered more about the feelings wheel, but I've been talking about the feelings wheel for a while because I think like people are trying to just abstract the fact that like in your life, no matter what your current situation is, you are going to feel all the feelings on the feelings wheel. The comfortable feelings, the non-comfortable feelings. So that's happy, sad, despair, loss, disgrace, disgust, and everything in between. Everything is just so contextual, right? And so I feel like so many people are trying to live their lives through movies and all these other things, and they're not just thinking about the fact that like they have their own lives to live and they have their own struggles and triumphs and wins and losses. Like that's just how it is. Life is just like that for everyone. And so I also think it brings about a more interesting conversation because she brings up briefly the fact that like remember when Britney Spears cut her hair? And a lot of people like to use that pop culture moment as this moment of like, this is what it looks like when a woman goes crazy. Now, the funny part about this is like the whole reason a lot of people end up, you can call it going crazy, but hitting a breaking point is like there's contextual things that are happening in society that are more than that person can deal with. In Britney Spears' case, she had, it wasn't just like one paparazzi. Okay, like I think now so many people are accustomed to Instagram culture and all these like tabloids and stuff and social media that it's like everyone knows that they're going to be watched all the time. But like at that point in time, like the level of celebrity of like a Britney Spears or like a Paris Hilton was like astronomical. I mean, these girls had like 60 or 70 cars and cameras following them every fucking place that they went, and she was like not, she was not in this like healthy space where she had things to like positive things to promote. She was going through like a divorce, I think a custody battle, all of this shit. And people, and she literally asked people to like leave her alone and give her space, and they would not. They just kept bugging her. So then she like cuts off her hair. She ends up like hitting a paparazzi, I think with a stick or something, when she told them to get away. And then everyone just labeled her as being the crazy one and not the fact that she was under an immense amount of pressure. And basically, she was being stalked out by the paparazzi. You see how there's like a cause and effect? But what happened is, like, they put Britney Spears on all of this medication, and then Candace Owens asked the question. They're like, have you guys seen her get better now that she's on the medication? And she answered the question herself, and she said, no, she didn't get better. So then what was the point of her going on the medication? Really ask yourself, because like a lot of people like to abstract the fact that like especially women, like there's another video that I saw and maybe I'll include it in the description box, but it basically talks about how the first diagnosis of any sort of mental health was, it was called like female hysteria. um and it was basically trying to understand why women don't comply with the matriarchy, and so like women feeling any feelings at all, like their corsets were too tight and they complain, oh she's psychotic, oh women do insert anything at all and she's fucked up and psychotic. So those are just things to think about, but I thought it was very interesting. Like um I think it's just more important for really everyone, especially parents and especially mothers, especially women though, to just be really in touch with your feelings and understand like why you feel those feelings, because they're contextual. They're not just like floating out of the sky. Okay, like something is happening in the world, and it's important for you to like understand what it is and then find some coping mechanism to feel about it. I would encourage you to go watch that Candace Owens video for yourself, to make a sort of determination about like, what, yeah, like, I don't know, like how you might deal with particular emotions, especially things like overwhelm. Yeah, useful.